Alright everybody, it is time for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is the third movie, third book in the franchise, as this is a new adventure in the new Harry Potter universe. Now we got our main cast of Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and you have the rest of the gang that all shows up in these movies. And I'm gonna say, I think this is the best Harry Potter film. This was always my favorite as a kid. I just liked the transition from the first two films being a lot more for the young children's audience, and then we get just a new film that just takes it a step further, where it's a lot darker and it's more for adults, the young adults, young teenagers kind of crowd, and the movie gets a little more serious. And what I think this film does better than all the other films is the pacing, the lack of fluff, and a very interesting and compelling story that feels well developed in every area. And what I mean by that is it feels so well told, because in the later Harry Potter films, there's a lot of fluff, and that's one of my biggest criticisms of a lot of the films. It seems like they try to throw in so many different subplots to all these different characters, and sometimes they feel very unnecessary, and they end up just being resolved literally in like 6 minutes, and it just feels unnecessary in so many of these films. But I feel like this film just goes straight forward, keeps on going, and it feels like a very strong narrative, and that's why I just really love this film. Alfonso Cuarón directed this film, and you may know him from Children of Men, Roma. I mean, I could keep going on, but but it's so cool to see that this is the only film he did in the franchise, and it's really just the best one. And I think that's due to Alfonso Cuarón's direction with the film. I think he took this film to be a lot darker, like I said, than the first two films, and it is just so fascinating, especially in the really big climax of the film. It is so intense, and it's so satisfying, and it's just so exciting, and it really does change the whole franchise, and it feels like we're going to be on edge, and like things are unraveling, things are opening up. We're learning more about who is involved with between the wizarding world, and we have the return of Voldemort, and all these ideas all coming through, and I think it works so perfectly in this film. So, I mean, let's get some of the easy ones out of the way. The cast is great. I mean, they just get better, like I said, as they go along. You know, they're just all excellent. I mean, Alan Rickman, Alan Rickman is fantastic in the film, as he's just Snape. Like, R.I.P. Alan Rickman. Like, he is just so phenomenal, and it's just phenomenal in all these films. We got a new Dumbledore, because the first Dumbledore that was in the first two films died, which stinks, but this Dumbledore is so much better, and it just seems like more of a real character than just this, oh, wise wizard. And Harry, you did a great job in the Chamber of Secrets. Like, you know, stuff like that. I like the change for Albus Dumbledore. The music is great. I mean, what can I say? I'm going to say that for all the films. The music enhances so many of the dramatic scenes, so many of the crazy action scenes, and just always kind of keep you on edge throughout these films. The cinematography, I like the change where the first two films were light, have a little bit of this yellowish color to it that the film series does bring back a little bit, but it just seems darker, and it seems that scenes that are a little brighter, but it seems like a little cold throughout this film, and it definitely leaves with the themes and some of the story elements of this coldness and this loneliness that's going on throughout the film that is one of those things that kind of is only for this film, and I really enjoy that element. The writing is really good. Like I said, there's really no fluff, and it just goes straight through. Like, every scene, you feel like it's important. I went through this movie rewatching it, and I was thinking to myself, I can't cut that out. I can't cut that out. I can't cut that. I can trim it just a little bit, but I really felt like I couldn't cut so many of these elements, because everything's interesting. Everything's adding to the story for us that's actually useful, or adding to the characters, adding to the arcs, adding to other characters we know. There's a lot of little setups throughout the film where, you know, they're in class and they're talking about something that's going to be used later in the film, but you may not know it yet, but it is such a really interesting take, especially if you rewatch it again. A lot of these scenes early in the film that have a little bit of foreshadow all connect together, and it seems like this film was really thoroughly planned and well detailed throughout, and that's why it just feels so like I don't know, straightforward, and it just feels so nice to watch. I guess in that sense, Alfonso Cuarón does a fantastic job directing. He knows how to create those dramatic and intense moments. Really does awesome with the action shots. The editing is also awesome in this film. It's pretty seamless throughout. I mean, all these Harry Potter films have really great editing, and that is a really big testament to this franchise, because you need your blockbusters to have really good editing, and I felt as though the editing is some of the best in the whole franchise. But now let's get to like what I really enjoyed. So I don't want to go through spoilers here, because just in case someone hasn't watched it and, you know, maybe you got this far and I don't know. I'm just trying to be fair to everybody. Maybe you just picked this movie to watch. Who knows? But I really like the story in this one. It feels more personal, I'd say, because, you know, we have the story about how this guy from Azkaban, Sirius Black, somehow killed Harry's parents, and he now is going to be breaking out to kill Harry. It feels more of a personal take, where it doesn't really affect everyone at Hogwarts, as they're all kind of scared of him because he's probably going to come to Hogwarts where Harry is. But it feels a little more personal, and Harry takes a little bit more of this stronger vengeance, where he's a little bit older now and he knows how powerful he can be, and just learns all these spells and has a little bit of confidence in himself, and now he's ready to take it on himself. He's going out of his way to find all the mysteries, find all the clues, listen to the right people, and the movie feels like it just always goes forward. And that is something that I really enjoy in this film. You have the inclusion of Professor Lupin, who is great in this film and feels very important, has a really nice arc, and I like how he's used in the other later films, because it has something else that's going on with Lupin. So very enjoyable. I mean, what else can I say about this film? I mean, I love the Dementors. I think they're super cool. They're super creepy, and they really get under my skin, especially when they're introduced in that train sequence, which was absolutely fantastic. I really love that train sequence. I really love the start of, I would say, the second act. I don't know. It's when things start to kind of go down is really interesting. And when you rewatch it, you almost are paying attention more, because once we get to about, I say the third act, maybe, the film adds an interesting element to it, where I feel as though that they should have brought back in the later films, and I understand why they didn't do it, because it affects certain things, and I don't really want to get into why, but, you know, it's just one of those things that I get it, you know, it's going to create a lot more problems in the universe, but it feels kind of like a cop-out because you only used it once. I mean, it does have some really nice dramatic and emotional parts. It has some really funny points in how they're going to do everything in this third act, which I thought was really enjoyable. I mean, you get that big climactic scene. You guys all know what I'm talking about. It really kept me on edge, especially this time around. I was like, man, I really always loved this scene, but this scene just kind of kicked it up a notch, and I really enjoyed that aspect. So this is a film that I can't really find anything I didn't really like. I mean, I guess if you make a criticism, I mean, I don't know, maybe the third act, this element, sometimes it gets a little confusing of what the rules are and how it affects everything, and when you're trying to go back, some of it kind of doesn't really make all that sense, but it's one of those things you can kind of forgive because it does work in the continuity of the film itself. So, I mean, I really love this film. I really do think it's the best Harry Potter film, and I really hope it's one of your guys' top favorites. I mean, if it's not, it's okay. I just really think Alfonso Cuarón does something really special and fantastic with this film. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Let me know down below, again, what is your favorite Harry Potter films? Let me know your rankings down below. And what did you think about this film? Where does it rank in your other Harry Potter series? And let me know why. I would love to know. So if you guys haven't already, please like and share the video. Please subscribe. It really helps with the channel. So you guys have been amazing doing that, and I hope I can give you better content and more content as this goes, and try to be my best that I can be for you guys. So I can't even talk. Thank you all for everything you guys have done to me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.